Hello and welcome to a new episode of AICA podcast. Today, I'm the speaker. I'm going to talk about AICA and AICA different committees. Carlos Acero Ruiz, a person that I first met during the AICA Digital Strategies Committee, and a person that is, I think, I can say that the godfather of AICA podcast because he, alongside my peers from the Digital Strategies Committee, gave me the opportunity to make this podcast and he alongside them directed me how to do it, how to find the best speakers. And right now I'm having Carlos as a speaker as a person working in AICA in the last 20 years as a curator, as a visual artist, and also as a person running one of AICA committees, the statutes and regulations. Carlos, thank you very much for accepting my invitation to be part of AICA podcast as a speaker. And thank you very much for all your input regarding this project.
Thank you so much, Mihaela, for having me on the AICA podcast. I know this is one of your goals in the digital strategies, and we encourage you to do so many podcasts for the good sake of the AICA International.
Yeah. So I would like to ask you, how was your first 20 years in AICA? Because before the recording, we talked a lot about all the different committees, all the different positions that you hold in and have hold in AICA. You were at one point you were the VP of AICA. Tell me about your experience.
Well, I start visiting AICA congresses like 20 years ago, and I really enjoyed the platform that AICA offers for the art critics as well as the curators. And I was invited to be part of the board. I presented my candidature and I was elected. And then after that, I got involved in the electoral and membership commission. We at that time, many years ago, we used to call commissions. Now it's committees. And I started as a member. But before that, I was co-chair of the AICA website commission. We didn't have digital strategies many years ago. We have the website commission, and I was the co-chair of this committee, of this commission with Christian Chamber from AICA Sweden. And then I presented like 10 years right after that, I presented my candidature for AICA vice president, and I got elected twice. I also was chair of the Congress Commission. I organized in 2016 the Havana Congress, which was quite a challenge for me as a chair because, as you know, Havana and Cuba has a very special political situation, very special economic situation, and I think we fulfill very good that Congress when Marek Bartelik was AICA international president, and we have a very nice Congress in Havana with a lot of members from all around the world who join us for that opportunity. What can I say? I also have been working in the archives and living committee, and also, as far as I remember, I started like 4 years ago or 3 years ago as a chair of the Statutes and Regulations chair after Christian Chambers stepped down from this committee. And I have to work with all my fellow members of this committee, reviewing the national sections with new entrants in the AICA, and also the old sections who wants to adopt the draft model of the statutes and regulations proposed by AICA. This is also quite a challenge because every country has their own laws, their own way to approach legal documentation, and we have to adapt and adjust all the documentation according to what the country needs.
Yeah, and I think it's quite difficult to be part of this committee because statutes and regulations means a lot of work, a lot of legal work. And I would like to ask you, how come you have so many such a good knowledge of legislations of and laws? Because you told me about working with different NGOs and also.
Yeah, I've been working in nonprofits organizations since many, many years ago, and I know how to run all the legal documentation, and that's what Lisbeth Rebollo Gonçalves, former AICA International President from Brazil, invited me to join the committee, and then I was voted and elected as the chair of this member. I remember that I had to deal with getting back in AICA Italy, back in the IT in the AICA International, and we have new countries like Costa Rica and Ecuador. We have been working to invite so many new countries to join our more than 4,000 international members around the world.
Yeah, for sure. AICA, it's quite a huge community of art critics and curators, and I think it's the best network to be part because you can meet your peers. And can I ask you, what would you say to a young curator or a curator that really wants to be part of AICA? Uh, how to apply? I know all the legislations and all the you have to fill up documentation, but I'm always telling them to have courage, just to apply, and afterwards just to be invited to be part of AICA. From your point of view, what's your advice for young curators that want to be part of AICA?
I think this is a good opportunity, a very good opportunity for young art critics, because what you have to do is try to knock at the door of your national section and see the regulations and the statutes, and you have to show your 3 recent years of doing. Even you can do a podcast, you can do digital thing. You can be a part of a newspaper or TV programs. There's so many things that you can apply now with those advantages we have in communications. So I think it's a good opportunity to apply, to knock at the door of your national sections, because every year we are reviewing. I am also part of the electoral membership commission as an advisor, because I've been in the committee for more than 12 years. Now I am an advisor, and we have so many young people applying, and most of them are very distinguished young critics who are joining our international association.
Yeah. You are also the director of Centro de la Imagen. Can you tell me more about what's the image from your point of view? Why the image is so important in your activity? Because being a director of the Image Center in English, it's quite a huge opportunity.
Yeah, I've been the director of Centro de la Imagen, Center for the Image, since 2011, and it's mainly devoted for photography and video. And I think it's very popular what we have with the smartphones, and everybody's doing videos, everybody's using in the EI, everybody is taking snapshots, and I think it's all these mediums are very good for the to communicate, but also we need to feel and see that not everything we are doing with our smartphones are fine photography. So it's kind of a mixed thing related to the image in 2025.
Yeah. You told me also that you really like to be a curator. And can you tell me more why you like to be a curator than, I don't know, visual artist or an art critic or a researcher? Why do you like to be a curator, first and most
It's
important?
it's a very creative thing, being a curator. when you were raised studying liberal arts, and it's quite a challenge also. But it's a very creative thing that I approach in everything that I do related to curating, and I really enjoy it because it's another way to express my ideas and my knowledge as a human being, because it's everything is related. It's not that I am 10 minutes architect, 10 minutes curator, 10
Yeah.
minutes artist. You see, it's the whole thing altogether, where I can express my feelings and my ideas using the any curatorial theme that I have to work with.
Yeah. Can you tell me more about your curatorials project? How many months or weeks do you take to make an exhibition and to do all the steps to do an exhibition as you want to have it curated?
It depends. Now I have an exhibition on show now in Centro Leon, which is a very fine institution in the middle of the island in the Dominican Republic, in Santiago de los Caballeros. It's called Territorios de la Creatividad. It's 60 years of the Concurso de Arte Eduardo León Jiménez. What I did is I review from 1964 to 2023 all the prizes that belong now to this collection, and I choose my very own selection for this exhibition that I have around 72 pieces from videos, installations, paintings, drawings, sculptures, everything. And that exhibition took me, I would say, like 1.5 years working with the curatorial teamwork at Centro Leon. And it's quite of historic curating, because I have to deal with 60 years
Yeah,
of
which is a lot.
prices, right? Yeah, and I think I devoted a very special taste for the historic curating exhibitions. I also curated a very huge exhibition back in 2010 of Ramon Oviedo, one of our finest painters of the Dominican Republic, and I did this curator did curatorial work with Sarah Herman, and we show we showed that time around 325 pieces in Palacio Nacional de Bellas Artes, which is one of the greatest art venues in Santo Domingo, capital of the Dominican Republic.
Yeah, that's a lot of artworks to curate in the exhibition that you told me. And tell me, from your point of view, should a curator have a mentor if they, I don't know, feel like having a mentor or learning from a person that they admire?
Yeah, it could be. You can inspire from everything who surrounds you. So it's very open, and the approach are quite different from every single curator.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, how's your experience with co-curating exhibition? Because for me, it's quite a solitary activity. I like to curate the exhibition on my own and just to show the final piece to the audience and also to the artist. And it's something like my own project. I can't share the curation. How is it for you to co-curate exhibition?
It depends, Mihaela, because what I mentioned, Ramon Oviedo Asi Invest was a very huge exhibition, because it was a retrospective of this very fine painter, and we split our visions, one from the political side of the artist, and the other one the personal uh, life of this huge painter and artist, and we mixed it up. So we split our visions and we work separately, and then we combine what we focus on the show. It's nice if you work with a very organized person like I did, with Sarah Herman, which is a very fine curator and extremely organized, and that's quite a challenge to try to decide everything, who is going to be on the show, but with a good will, I think it's a big opportunity to co-curate any show. And mostly, if you're going to review uh, 60, 70 years of our pieces from a very fine painter.
Yeah, it's quite amazing that you are doing curation and co-curation. And I would like to ask you, because I've seen several artists that are quite new in working with art and curating exhibition, that they are the curator and also they are the artist. What's your opinion of having these two profession in the same exhibition? What's your point of view about that?
Well, I try to avoid any show that I am curator to be part of the show as an artist. That's my personal view. But now I'm open to do a future show that I will include my works, my artworks. But I think it's a good opportunity to be part of the show, but not integrate your work as a main thing. You can be like an extra piece, or I don't know. I think the good opportunities for all the other artists to express themselves and be part of the show.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you for your reply. Because most of the time, I only think about that in black and white, and right now I think in a gray area, something like, okay, you can be a curator, but also you can be an artist. You told me just have a very small, I don't know, artwork, just be an artist that is not the main violin, if I can say that.
Yeah.
And because I know that you're a visual artist and you told me about your art also, can you tell me more about your style? What's your opinion on contemporary art? What do you like to create right now for the moment?
The moment I'm doing videos and photography, I started as a sculpture. I won national competitions as a sculpture, doing uh, a lot of artworks, and then I changed into the photography and video. What I'm still doing now, not with the frequency that I would like to, because I'm also teaching the most part of my week. So I have to divided my things between directing Centro de la Imagen and then teaching in 3 institutions. So I have to split it up and try to get my week in a good way in order to organize myself.
Yeah. And you told me about a video art. What's your best curatorial practice to curate an exhibition with video art? Because from my point of view, it's quite difficult to work with video art, especially if video art has a lot of music. And I've been to several museums that I can see the noise from another room in another room, and it's quite challenging to do that. What's your best curatorial practice on video art?
I think it depends how are you going to display those videos. Most of the
Okay.
times, I will request a bell in order to focus the noise, in order not to spread it out and make the whole noise in the venue. That's very important what you said. That I'm really focused on trying to get the right space, the right spot for any video, even though it's on a loop on a TV set or in a big display. I also recommend the headphones. I really don't like, but sometimes it's useful in order not to contaminate the whole group show with a lot of noise. Sometimes the noise is good. It depends on the exhibition. It depends on the mediums that you're using. But for video, I think you need to be really careful in order to avoid contamination, cross contaminations in the venue.
Yeah, it's more than important. You told me about headphones. I'm not keen on headphones also, but I have no idea how to see an exhibition, a video art exhibition, without wearing headphones. And I think this, I don't know, I don't want to be all by myself with an artwork. That's why I don't like headphone. Is that the same reason that you don't like headphones in an art exhibition, or why do we are not keen on headphones when displaying a video art piece?
The thing is that not every visitor are going to use the headphones. That's the main problem.
Yeah, for sure.
And after the pandemic, the people are really
Yeah.
aware of touching things, but what I suggest always for the videos exhibitions is to lower the volume in order not to contaminate the whole venue, because that's very important that every piece gets the space and the lighting and the silence in order to reach the goal, to get involved with the public.
Yeah. AI is really coming into visual art. Can you tell me your opinion about AI and art made with artificial intelligence?
Well, AI it's a trending thing now, as you can tell,
Yeah.
in every part of our daily life, even medical treatments.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, two things. For me, AI now it's not like Photoshop, which is a tool. AI is an agent, and it's an agent that when you put a prompt, it's gonna think about it and get you the results back with a few lines, a few pictures, whatever you put it on the prompt. They're gonna think about it, uh, uh, gather the information, and send it you back. We need to be aware that the legal thing of the of the properties of that piece of art. Now in the European community in countries as well as the United States of America, the legal thing of the AI is starting to develop in a very quiet pace. So we need to wait what in terms of the legal authorial thing is going to be the AI for the future, because now if you don't do like a 30% or 40% with your own hands, it's not going to be considered your own uh, art piece. So it's we need to to try to wait a few more months in order to see how the legal authorial things is going to be with the AI pieces.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you that about artificial intelligence because recently I learned that a person was telling that AI is something like what the photography done to the painting, and I'm quite troubling with this point of view because I don't think AI is going to replace painting, sculpture, video art, and I'm quite keen on the topic because it's really changing a lot the way we see art, we understand art, we curate art. It's quite difficult to, I don't know, implement artificial intelligent artwork in an exhibition with artists making all the artwork from the start or using small chips. And I'm quite, I don't know, thrilled to see what's going to happen. And I think the legal statutes are going to be in use. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And we now we are watching in most of the national art competitions and biennials a lot of AI pieces. Some are really good, the other ones are not that good, but I think it's an agent that the artists are using now. Like in art, we have been see the changes in technologies through the centuries. Photography is a good example.
yeah, for sure. That's
Photography
why.
photography was established in 1839, But the first one was in 1826. So next year is going to be 200 years from the first photography that we are watching now, 200 years back. And then that was an issue when we changed from black and white to color, and then we switched from analogic photography to digital. That was quite a thing also. So it's the changes in everything, and we need to adapt and get the best of everything in order to produce a very fine piece of art.
Yeah, you said a very fine piece of art. Can you tell me from your point of view, from your professional point of view, what's a very fine piece of art? What should it have in, I don't know, general aspects?
Well, I think it's a piece that moves you inside. That is not could be a provocative one, but I think it's a good piece is when you touch the person who is in front of that piece and moves you inside and not let you indifference from going to see another piece of art. So uh, it's very hard because sometimes techniques are uh, part of that, but a good resolution of the piece is also, uh, I would say, like around the circle when you find a piece that it's well with a fine finish, and that's another good point to take into consideration when you're seeing and evaluating any piece of art.
Yeah. I want to circle back a little bit because you're a visual artist. When is the time that, from your point of view, you finished the artwork? You don't want to do anything more, anything else and you just finish it. What's your final moment?
Through the years, I think you develop a point that you can your knowledge tells you to stop. I remember when I was a young curator that I tried to include a lot of things, but through the years I developed a taste and a knowledge in order to stop and be more precise in curating a show and selecting specific works in order to communicate what you're trying to express in the exhibition. And it's the same thing with the art piece. You need to stop in one thing in order to finish your work.
Yeah. Would you say to an artist that is really having a lot of trouble finishing his masterpiece? Just, I don't know, what's your advice?
No, no, I would say that it's like when I'm doing portfolio reviews, that I said the first edition of or your artwork is you have to do it by yourself in order to then present to a portfolio review. So you have to try to get the knowledge in order to find the best pieces that you're going to choose in order to present a portfolio review. You cannot go and do a portfolio review with 200 images. That's insane, and nobody's
Yeah.
going to review that. I would say more than 20, 25 images in a portfolio review. That's a lot,
And
and not including more than two or three series.
okay, so 2 or 3 series. That was my follow-up question. Only a small series and 25, 20, 25 images for a portfolio review.
Yeah.
Carlos, thank you very much for an amazing AICA podcast. We talked a lot about AICA, your curatorial activity, about your projects, and about the importance of images. It was a terrific show. Thank you very much for accepting my invitation, and thank you very much for all the help you are doing in the AICA podcast, and also for everything that you are doing in AICA, because your activity is more than overwhelming from my point of view.
Thank you so much, Mihaela. We have another challenge now for the next General Assembly in AICA at the end of this year. We're going to present the new statutes and regulations. That's one of the Malgorzata Kashmir SAC platform as a new presidency in order to write the statutes and regulations in a more simple way. I think we are in a good road in order to approve in the next General Assembly. We already voted in the reforms. So I think it's going to be a big opportunity in order to clarify things and put it in a simple way for all the AICA international members.
Yeah, I can hardly wait for the General Assembly that is going to happen in December this year, and I'm going to. It's going to be a challenge to see all the new things that are going to happen to the statutes and regulations. I think it's simplification from my point of view. From what I read from the website, it's simple and it's clear for everybody. Then I don't know, legal aspects and legal definitions.
Right, right. It's very accessible, and I think any member could review it anytime and consult. And I think it's a good opportunity in order to simplify our rules in the AICA International Association.
Yeah, that's great. Carlos, thank you very much and
Thank you,
have a
Mihaela,
terrific.
for having me in the podcast. I encourage you to keep doing the podcast in order to make our members' visibility all around the world with your ICAP podcast.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you and have a terrific day.
Thank you so much.